3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, this is another video on the operation of the DMU 50 5-axis CNC milling machine. So for this video we're going to cover how to load your stock material in addition to setting your workpiece 0 so the machine knows where your part is and where your origin point is in relation to your CAM program. So first we're going to come over to the panel. We're going to go into TSM. We're going to go over to Tools, and we're going to find the part probe. So we're going to select in manual, and we will hit the cycle start button. I believe the door needs to be locked for this, and we will hit the cycle start button. And I go over, it grabs the part probe. And some potential issues you may have during the operation is the tool type is important, especially for the part probe. If someone accidentally hits the select key while hovering over type, it'll change the tool type, and the machine will not be able to tell whether or not that the part probe is physically in the machine. So if you ever encounter this issue, you need to hit the select key until this symbol is present in the machine. Another potential issue is that the probe batteries could be dead, in which case please refer to the Renishaw guidelines for replacing the batteries on the Renishaw probe. But now that we have this, we're ready to go and load in our stock material and set up our workpiece 0. Alright, so the next step of the process is going to be to set our workpiece origin zeros. So I'm going to go back into the menu select. As you can see, we've already loaded the part probe from before. So I'm going into menu select, I hit machine, and then I'm going to go over to the workpiece 0 section. So at this point, I can unlock the door, or make sure the door is unlocked. As you can see, there's no symbol up here. If the door were locked, you'd see the green lock symbol up here, but I'll make sure it's unlocked now. I'm going to come over, open the door, and I'm going to put my 246 block in. The reason why I'm going to put the 246 block in here is because I'm going to tell the machine where the bottom of the vice jaws are. And this typically varies depending on how you set up your program. Another thing to keep in mind is that this vice is reverse threaded, so and now that my 246 block is resting on the ridges on the vise, I can come back, close the door, and now I'm going to go over to the machine, lock the door, and manually move the probe so that it is over the 246 block. And I can reduce the feeds if I want it to go a little slower. All right, and now that I've gotten it roughly into position, I can hit the single point probe. Hit it one more time. And as you can see, you can select which point you're probing, Z, how high up it is, and which work offset you want to put it in. So for work offset, we never want to store values in G500. G500 is the machine's absolute positioning value. To change what work offset we're going to store our values in, we'll hit the select key on the panel over here, and it'll change it. Typically, for 5-axis machining, we're always going to use G54 as the default work offset. So once I've set all the values correctly, I'm 2 inches above the Z0 when I hit the 246 block, work offset set correctly, and I'm probing the Z position, I can hit the cycle start key. And if I look over, it'll give feed. And now it'll say activate the G54 work offset. I'm going to select OK. And we're good. So the next step is to load the stock material that you want, and we'll go from there.
1.
All right, so now if I come over to the machine, we can see that I have loaded the stock material. I've also positioned the probe so it's roughly centered above the stock material. And now I'm going to come back over to the machine, and I'm going to hit back. I'm going to hit back one more time, and I'm going to select the outer boss web probing feature. So now I'm going to select rectangular web, and I will tell which work offset to use. I will tell it how big my stock material is. I might want to pad this slightly, so I'll put 2.1. And this is the Z search distance. This will search downward by the amount specified from where the probe currently is. Now that I've set all of my parameters, I can hit the cycle start button, increase my feed, it searches, it taps, moves to the other side, searches, taps, and now it'll do the Y. Searches, taps, and it'll go over to the back, searches, and taps. And now, as we can see, we are in position X0, Y0, and 4 inches above the stock material, which we can confirm looks about right. All right, now that we've specified all that information, we can go back. We can enter the program selection menu, and typically at this point, we will load our USB program or our USB into the machine. So I'll take my USB drive, and I will come over to the side. I will stick the flash drive in the USB port. I'll come back over here to the controller. Program, and I will select the drive that I'm trying to download my files on. When I want to move a program over, I will select the program I want. I will hit copy, and I will move it over to part programs. I'll hit paste, and when you're ready to run, you'll hit execute. And at that point, you should be able to run your 5-axis programs. If you have a program that is particularly large, as you can see, some of these programs can get very, very large and can't be loaded directly into memory. You hit continue, execution hard disk, and the program will run off of the disk memory versus RAM. At this point, you should be able to run the program. I'm not going to go through the process of running the program in this video, but you should be good to go.